What is upper? It's your boy V Kush Beats. It is the GTS Movement Leadership Council. Today we got a dope topic that a lot of people don't speak on. As you can see, it's killer offline beat selling strategies. Everybody introduce yourselves and we'll get this started.
What's up, guys? Travis with T Customs Productions.
What's up, guys? It's your boy KC with KC-Beats.com.
What's up, man? It's your boy Skinny Double Y.
Bill Blast Pro, BillBlast.com.
Alright, that's what's up. Everybody's here. So like I know me and Bill Blast, we are heavy in the offline game. All of us do a little offline stuff, but I know me and Bill Blast really work the offline game. So I guess I'm gonna start with preparation. When it comes to selling beats offline, I never leave the house without music. Like every day I walk out my door, I got at least 3 discs on me with beats on them. Bill, I don't know how you do it, but you want to pop in?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much do the same thing. Whenever I'm out, I always have something with me for, someone to hear, whether I have a few CDs on me, whether I have a few thumb drives, or whether I have something on my phone. I always have something that I can let someone hear if need be.
You never know you're gonna run into.
And that's definitely important, man. I think nowadays producers definitely gotta treat themselves like they're artists. Like if you're an artist, like artists would always have their product with them. You should always have your music accessible.
There's like I know where I'm at. I live in Chicago, and my studio is downtown. So whenever I go downtown, I walk past 3 or 4 different hotels, and I've met Lil Jon in front of hotels. I've met the Clips in front of hotels. Just walking downtown in Chicago late at night, them having a show or being somewhere in the city, and you see them outside. Hey, what's up? And then you start that conversation. If we don't got music on you, there's no reason to start the conversation. They're not going to go check out your website. They're not going to do anything that you think. Go check me out on such and such. That is the wrong move. It's the equivalent to an artist asking you to Google them. Like
right, exactly.
No. So always have some type of music or something that they can take with them when you're out in public. So no matter who you run into, you got something to hand off, and just make it. I'm not gonna say make it right. Make it exactly what you do. Like if you make boom bap shit, make boom bap shit, but throw 1 or 2 beats in there that may not be your signature style, just so you can show some diversity and some variety. You guys, anybody want to say anything?
Man, I mean, you're right on point with that because I'm in LA and this is the capital, you know what I'm saying, of entertainment over here. Everybody that's somebody is over here doing something, and I literally, like, sometimes I walk in just to the liquor store down the street and there's artists who I've seen on TV just standing there getting their bottles or getting whatever they're doing. So it's really, you know what I'm saying, being prepared for that situation. You have to be the right person in the right place at the right time, I think Travis said. Got that from you.
They start with being prepared. I mean, it's like if you come into a situation where you run into somebody and you don't have the music on you or whatever the case is, I mean, it's being that, yeah, it comes with preparation. It comes with education, like knowing what you know.
Like I'll give you an example. Like I said, I walked into the liquor store. Now, I did meet an artist and I did send her beats, but I didn't hear back from her. No, I went into a studio and ran into an artist and gave him a CD. I heard back from him. I gave him, well, actually, I think it was a thumb drive. It wasn't a CD, but it was a thumb drive. Put the beats on his computer, let him check it out, and I actually heard back from him, but I didn't hear back from the other one that I was like, send beats to my email. So you're right. You're right about that.
And I would say definitely have multiple mediums too, because what I came across recently was this. Nowadays, you might come across someone that may not have a CD player in the car. They might just have a digital stereo. So you might want to, make CDs too. Don't exclude that. But you might want to have stuff on a thumb drive, or you might want to have stuff on your phone. Because a lot of people nowadays, their stereos, they have the aux inputs and the USB inputs on their stereos now. So you gotta along with your CDs, you got to move with the time too. Have multiple meetings. You don't want to miss the opportunity.
See, what I have is I always upload my stuff to SendSpace, just so like if they are on a mobile device and they do, and I don't have my thumb drive, like I can have the download link so they can download the full project. But what I also do, I like to do, you guys said put 2 or 3 beats that aren't your style. What I do is I use my online game, whatever's selling most online, my most popular tracks, I'll throw on the tape that I'm bringing along with me, so I know it's always the tracks that are hot that are always popping. So it's not necessarily genre specific, but it's always the ones that have been selling or getting played the most and the most downloads.
Definitely,
I
definitely.
use that offline.
That's what's up. Another thing is when you're. This is what I use. This is if you guys can see this, it's like a credit card, right? And they give these out on Bandcamp. You can order these. And instead of me giving out music, sometimes when I'm at events, I just pass these out. It's a plastic card. They can take this home, or they can scan it on their phone, and it also has the website on the back, so they can check it out, and they can download free music or download free beats using this card. Like I said, it's just certain things that we kind of have to use to stay. I mean, a lot of times you don't want to walk around with a pack of CDs. You know what I mean? First of all, it looks crazy old school. You got to step it up. You know what I mean? And this is how you do it. You step it up with this. Another thing is when you're speaking to these artists, you got to have an angle. Like, don't just come up to somebody and say, yo, I got beats. Like, they don't care. They got beats from some other producer, and you got to have something to give them. You got to talk to them and have some type of conversation skills when you get into this game. Because if you run into an artist that's a major or a mid-major, everybody's giving them beats. What is your angle? If you run into somebody who's local, the easiest way to get a local artist, and what I'll say is if you go to a show, because you got to get to events, that's the only way, that's the best way to meet people. It weeds out dealing with artists who ain't on shit and artists who are about their business. Because if they're on stage, guess what? You know for a fact that they're working towards something. So your job at this point is when you go to events is to get close to whoever's on stage. And when you get to them, you got to have some angle because everybody's hitting it with beats. As far as like GTS, being that we're so heavy in the blog game, my angle is really simple. Can I shoot a quick interview with you? They just got off stage. When can we set up something? And from that, you build a relationship. And during that conversation, after it's over, you say, hey, look, I got some beats. You want them? You want to check them out here? And it's that simple. But my angle is to come in to help their career. I'm not just trying to make money from it. Anytime you pass over this, they know, okay, he wants some money. And they put their guard up right from jump. So you got to know how to talk to people and have an angle to get you in. Anybody else have something to say?
Definitely, definitely. It's like also too the same thing. It's like, you know, if you know that you're going to an event and a certain individual is going to be there, just piggybacking off of what Brian said, do some research on that individual. And that way, you know, you can spark a conversation that's not necessarily straight to the point music related. You know, you got to, like you said, you got to have a different angle because everybody that's probably approaching this individual is saying, I got beats, I got this, I got that. So, you know, you got to have some type of different angle to even start a conversation because it's going to start with the person liking you as a person anyway.
Yep.
Let me ask a question to all you guys, and maybe something that will help somebody, because I know some people have different takes on this. But as far as, you know, say you've already got it, you're talking to somebody at a local show, and you're going to give them a disc or, you know, a wristband with a USB or, you know, whatever kind of medium, you're going to give them some beats. What are your all's take on, first off, should there be a set number of tracks on the beats? Should you put snippets of beats? Should you put full length? Should you put tagged? Should you put untagged? There's a lot of different opinions and, you know, on this topic. So I just wanted to kind of pick everybody's brain and kind of get an idea, like, what does everybody do? What's your standard practice for that?
I would probably follow the same procedure that I would follow online. I mean, you know, because I guess at the end of the day, with me also, I'm trying to draw them to what I have online also. So I probably would follow the same procedure. Like, oh, I might have what, 5 beats or however many I'm giving out at the time on a CD or thumb drive or with the CD with my website on there. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, my goal is to whoever I meet offline still try to draw them online, to my online business. That's my approach.
For me, it depends on where I'm at. I go to a lot of festivals and I go to like a lot of shows like all the time. So depending on where I'm at and who I'm going to be meeting, like if I go to like A3C, for example, I've gone to A3C 9 years in a row. I'll take about 300 CDs with me because I know that everybody's passing out CDs in there, so I can get rid of those. And I'll put maybe 10 to 15 tracks on them, but I'll put snippets, tag snippets. And I know that there's going to be 300 perfect. They got a thing called perfect attendance where they put like the local artists or the unknown artists on, and that's where I go because it's one thing to get to the bigger name artists, but the connection starts with the people who are coming up. So if you can start doing beats for the people coming up, when they start to gain that buzz, you get that notoriety also with them. So I'll hit up everybody from those and I'll pass out those 300 CDs. But I know when I'm meeting the bigger artists that are headlining, I don't, and on those snippets, those are snippets for the locals. For the bigger artists, I used to give out iPod shuffles. Like, you can go on eBay and buy like Japanese or Chinese iPod shuffles for hella cheap. So I'd get maybe 50 of those and I'd load them up. But I'd load them up with the full tracks on them. Because I don't want a major label artist to have, they're not going to hit me back and say, hey, can you send the files out? Okay, right. They're going to record right then. They don't want tags on the beats. They right. don't want any of that shit. And like I tell people all the time, people say, oh, well, what if he steals your song? If Pusha T takes my song and he blows up off of it, I know how to find Pusha T. Okay, I know how to find him to get my money or to build that relationship up. Because at the end of the day, I want him to use the song. Like if I gotta eat that record to get that in, I'll eat that record. Some people aren't willing to to sacrifice that. You got to look at the bigger picture. If Jay-Z says, "Let me use this song for my mixtape," do you say no? Do you say no? You can say, nah, Jay, it's 10 racks. And he can say, all right, and go to somebody else. Because you got to look at it like, okay, what's the lesser of two evils? Jay uses this track for my mixtape, and I get an in to the industry because I got a track with Jay-Z. At this point, you can sell beats to anybody that's not as high as Jay-Z. And that's kind of how I look at it when I deal with major or mid-major artists. So I give them the tracks without the tags on them because I want them to use them. And all it is just keeping in contact. And the way you keep in contact is honestly on anything that I give out, be it a CD, a jump drive, or anything. I have an audio track that plays on there with my contact information. So even if it's not on the actual CD, there's a track on there that has my contact info on there. So it has my cell phone number, it has my email address, it has my my website, all on there. So if they say, oh, I don't know how to get in contact with them, they know how to get in contact with me because that track is going to play between every 5 songs. So they'll be like, okay, this is how I get in contact with them. I don't know what you guys do.
That's actually a good note. I never heard that quite. So you actually put an audio track every so often that actually you're speaking where you're actually speaking the contact info. I'd never heard that. So I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I never thought of that before.
Well, that's actually what you were talking about as far as the distinguishing between maybe independent artists or lower level artists versus mid to major artists. I think you're right on point because I actually spoke to A&R at G Unit a number of years ago, Tony G, and I actually asked him because at the time I was submitting tracks for 50 and Lloyd and those kind of guys. I never actually made it on the mixtape or album, but that was exactly his advice. I asked him, I said, should I send snippets? Should I? He's like, just send it formatted, send it ready to go because if they are going to record to it, they're going to get inspired, go in the booth and record now. They're not going to take the time out to call you back and try to get the files and all that. So I think it depends on who you're dealing with. Yeah. And I kind of treat it the same way. Another tip that I would have is if you've got something that I've done, I've kind of stuck to this for the most part when I'm formulating, like kind of disc that I'm passing out, like a beat tape or something I'm going to take to a local show is, say I've got a 4-minute track and I've got maybe a part A, a part B, and then I've got like a bridge or something. One of the things that I've kind of given as a pointer is like if somebody's just skimming through your tracks, you kind of want them to get a sense of the whole track in as short amount of time as possible. So let's say you don't have a bridge that comes in until like 3 minutes into the song. Well, if they don't listen to the entire track, they're going to miss that bridge. They're going to miss that alternate sequence. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take a verse part, I'll take the hook, and then I'll bring in the bridge or bring in the breakdown right all in the first minute, minute and a half, so they can get a sense of what the track is right from the jump. And I feel like that, you know, it's going to help sell your track, because if they don't, like I said, if the bridge is really dope or your breakdown's really dope, but they don't even get to hear that because they're just skimming through, you know, you'll miss that opportunity. But I think it is case by case. You gotta know who you're dealing with, and kind of take that into account, whether you're going to put full length tracks, whether you're going to tag it up throughout the entire beat, how many tracks you're going to put on the tapes or whatever.
Right. I like what you were saying about that too, because I'm thinking about it now from, you know what I'm saying, I used to be an artist before, so I'm thinking about like when I would go through beats and I would listen to beats, what was I listening for? What is the first thing I noticed? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's that first 15 seconds, man. If I don't feel it and it doesn't move me in those first 15 seconds, I'm skipping. So, you know what I'm saying, that first 30 seconds, you know what I'm saying, to a minute, if they even get that far, is like super crucial. You're right on point with that. I would even give them, like when I do it, I'll do like a 4 or 8 bar intro depending on how fast the track is. And then I'll drop it straight into the chorus, so they get that full, like, all right, they got the intro, full effect, boom. This is what the feel of the track's going to be right here. This is your chorus. This is what's going to make everybody listen.
The mentality I have is like, I take it like, say I'm at a beat battle, right? I'm at a beat battle and I've got a minute to get my track and get the crowd moving with my track. Like, that's the way. I've only got a small window, so I just try to cram as much of the track into that short window as I can. So that sometimes that means me going back to my sessions or loading in the MP3s and reformatting that instrumental specifically for that beat tape. And it just, you know, I think it can make a big difference. I've even heard like Illmind on his Blapper Crap, you know, radio show a number of months ago, probably even as old as like last year, talking about this on one of his segments. You know, they were all kind of discussing stuff in the industry, and he was kind of talking on the same thing. You know, getting to the point.
I mean, that's basically it. Like you gotta, it's just like you said, you just smash as much as you can into that little space in that window, because just like Skinny said, I'm an artist too, so if I turn the beat on and it doesn't drop the way I like you may only get 3 seconds into that song. If it chops in and I'm like, nope, click, I don't even get that far. It's just, you gotta have.
That's the thing, like it can help you or it can hurt you.
Exactly.
Some people want that weird stuff up front, and then some people want like the normal stuff up front. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really depends on the artist. You gotta know who you're working with. That's about it.
Definitely.
Go ahead,
Chaz.
I just want to cut in quick. You're saying, like, you were talking about the audio. One thing I would suggest, make sure your contact information is on everything. Like, when I do my beats, I'm gonna show you an example of my old beat tape. But when I pressed it up, I did it all at home on my home. I did it all at home by myself. But I'm gonna try and put this up here, it'll probably be backwards. But I put my contact info right there. I also put it in a disc, and then on the back cover it had in a jewel case, actually on the back cover it had my contact info. I also put a card in there, and that all had all my contact info. Definitely want to make yourself accessible, and that's a dope thing with the audio track. I never thought about that. You want to have it on everything.
Adding to that real quick as Brian's camera falls down. Another thing that was recommended, I think it was on the Illmind Blabber Crap, was to actually, in the MP3 tags, you know, when you go in and you can actually change the title tags and the whatever, like actually have your contact in there, have your website embedded in one of those MP3 tags, have your email address embedded in there, which that was something I had never thought about either. It's like, what if somebody just has that MP3? They don't have the disc, they don't have the business card, you know, they don't have that. Well, that information is embedded within the track itself.
Yep.
Even though we're talking about offline, when I upload my MP3s online or my beats online or wherever I'm putting them, I always put in the genre, or the genre It depends, really, but I was doing it in part of the title before, but that didn't work. If you just put it in the genre, when somebody puts that MP3 in their iTunes, the first thing that's going to pop up is the number, the name, the time, and the genre. And if they see in the genre www dot whatever your website is, like that's a super easy way to contact you. I was going to say something about that too, but you beat me to it.
Definitely. When it comes to offline, as far as the whole contact thing is, people will tell you, you know, business cards don't work. It's not that business cards don't work. You've got to have the right business cards. Okay, it has to be something that makes your business card stand out. Like I use a plain business card. Now you can't read what's on here, but basically I'll just read it to you. It says, caution, using this card will change your life in all cases. We're saving the same amount of money on beats. If you're not ready to take your career to the next level, give this card to a hip-hop artist that is. If you're ready to take this to the next level, flip this card over. So if you get this card, you're going to automatically do what? Flip the card over. If you flip the card over, it's got, okay, you're 100% serious because you flipped this card over. And it's got my website on the back. It's like, go to, you know, my website and use this 50% off code on your first sale, on your first purchase. Like, this card has made me so much money. Like, it's ridiculous. I go out and it's 50% off. People go just because when they go through their cards, they're at an event and they get hundreds of cards, they'll say, what's this caution? And they'll look at that one and then they'll read it and flip it over. And at that point, you've got them hooked. Your card, you can have business cards. It doesn't have to be different than everybody else. It's got to be something that sets your card apart.
You've got micro commitments. You got micro commitments on your
business
card.
That's what I was thinking of, but he got those micro commitments down on there.
I actually got this idea from this book I had called Insane Marketing Strategies, and they were using this for like billboards and like some other shit. They had like a whole bunch of different like examples, and somebody had this on their business card for like a plumbing company. And I was like, I'm taking that. But it's like, but that's what it is. You get the micro commitment, and then when they see it, they flip it over, and they're like, oh shit, I got 50% off. But let me at least go check out his beats if I know I'm going to get 50% off.
That's so dope. Yeah, like you said, business cards, they do work. I actually just got hit up. He found it in a coffee shop that I go to locally, but a mastering engineer just hit me up 2 days ago because he saw my card and grabbed it and swiped it up. And I've been hit up a couple times from people who just picked up my card. And every time I go to that coffee shop, my card's always missing. So people take them. It's still relevant. I know a lot of people say business cards don't work, but yes, they do.
Yeah. And then caveat off of that, you just gave me an awesome idea that I haven't put into effect yet, but I'm about to try it. You know how I shouldn't say we, I should say certain producers will give away, you know what I'm saying, free beats or 3 free beats to get people to opt into their list or whatever it may be, opt into their website or go some, you know what I'm saying, to take them somewhere. You could do the same thing with a local store. You could drop off a bunch of flyers, you know what I'm saying, with your website, offering them, hey, if you're a hip-hop artist, like I'm in LA, so it's not that hard. Tell them, hey, you want this information. Basically the same thing you're doing on offline, transfer that to local stores and local businesses, maybe that you visit, you know what I'm saying, like every day. Like there's a certain couple stores that I go to every day or every other day, so it's like they see me in all the time, they're going to be more likely to, you know what I'm saying, hey man, what's up, how you doing? Hey, you mind if I drop these off in your store, leave them here, you know what I'm saying, and pass them out? They'll probably be like, sure, no problem, just leave them right there on the front. And then, next thing you know, a couple guys will come in and hopefully check it out.
So. Like your policy game has to be like on some serious shit. Like there's a clothing company called Leaders here in Chicago, and I used to go to Leaders and, you know, talk to the owners and be like, look, whoever comes in and buy some shit, you know, because it's a hip hop clothing store, I'd take a bunch of this there and just drop them, just throw them in the bag. Throw them in the bag. Let me work out a deal. If you throw these in the bag with the flyer, whenever somebody buys something, give them away for free. It's just, you want your music out. You want your music everywhere. So it's like, it's kind of one of those things. You don't know who they're passing out to, but it's like, go ahead and throw it out, because sitting at home with 100 discs ain't gonna help you. And also it helps you build relationships with people. Like wherever you're at, there's a college radio station where you're at. There's no reason why you shouldn't be calling that college radio DJ who plays the hip hop and saying, "Hey, let me do the drops on your show. Let me do the background beats for your show." 9 times out of 10, they know who all the local artists are that go to that college. You can go up there and be like, "Yo, who are the new artists up here that are dope?" You build a relationship with the DJs, they get you connected to the artists. You're gonna sell more beats. And what college is, those artists go back home. So then your name goes back home with them, and it's just a process. You get to as many college radio DJs, you get to more artists. Those artists go home, you meet more artists. And it never stops with colleges. There's new rappers coming to college every single semester.
Brian and Bill, I kind of got a question for you guys too. Do you guys wrap your CDs, your jewel cases? Because I know when you're submitting them to record companies, you know you don't want to have them wrapped and shrinked or anything. So do you guys put them out like that, or no?
No, I don't wrap them at all. I just keep it simple. You know, jewel case. You know, artwork. I just keep it simple.
Yep.
There's different approaches. I wanted to shout out a site that I've used. I haven't been on there in a while, but discmakers.com.
Oh.
If you guys are looking for some really professional looking, like if you got to have a little bit of budget for it, and typically it's on a bulk, 100 or more, 200. Obviously, the more you buy, the cheaper it is. But you guys can get, you can go this route, and a lot of people will. They'll just have like the standard, slim cases, or even the bigger ones. You can have a regular disc, write on it. You could print up. These are some older ones. Just print up your own little, CD information. But you can also go talking about shrink wrap. This is actually a disc that I picked up at a local show, and this is one of the ones from Disc Makers. I don't know if you you guys see that that's actually shrink wrapped? I guess you can see it kind of reflecting a little bit, but this hasn't even actually been opened. And this is what it looks like. This is one that I got created. It's just a little cardboard sleeve. You just slide your disc in here.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And then you can also get, like this is a standard size, and this is shrink wrapped. So I mean, you can get these made as well. And if you want to elevate it, if you've got that budget and you're really trying to impress your audience,
I probably would go that route, more so that route if I was selling the CD. Because, and I say that because, I've done it with disc makers before, and they're a little pricey, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm giving something out or just giving it away, I probably wouldn't go that route unless I was making it a point to sell the CD.
Like I said, or make an impression. Because like the shrink wrapped, I guess, is probably more for if you're selling. I mean, I get that. But even just these aren't, they are kind of pricey.
What is
but
it?
they're not too bad.
What is you get like 100 for like what, $200 or something like that?
No. It's not that expensive. But I'm just giving other options. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you want to stick to a slim case, stick to a slim case. But I'm just saying this can potentially help you stand out. And another thing that I did to save myself on money, because if you want to get the sleeve and the disc printed through a company like that, it does cost a lot. But see, all I did was get the sleeve printed, and then I actually took care of my own discs. Right. And what I did was, another thing I was going to share that might help somebody is, if you're on a budget, now I don't remember what these cost. It probably, if you guys are familiar with LightScribe, and I don't know if there's any newer technology out where you can actually etch. I
actually have one of the machines. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It literally costs. If you don't have a LightScribe burner, you can buy an external one, USB, for, I don't know what they cost now, maybe $30-50 one time. You can get LightScribe discs for maybe 30 cents a piece. And it takes a little longer to print these to etch the laser on here. But I'm just saying, if you want to get that edge, Kush was talking about standing out, having business cards. If everybody else is handing out CDs that have marker on them or they're in slim cases, and you just kind of want to take it up to the next level, you might have to spend a little bit more money, but it might be worth it depending on who your potential customer base is. So that's just another option. Something I've done before.
Right. I agree with that. I would just say, if you're gonna do it, just make sure you have a plan as far as what you're doing. Because I wouldn't just say, all right, I'm just gonna go, get fancy CDs if I don't have an agenda for what I'm for a you know what I mean. Like just have a plan for what you're doing, and then figure out what route you want to go from there. I mean, you definitely want to stand out. So those are definitely good alternatives.
And speaking of standing out and kind of taking the offline game back to the online game, Kush, you showed a card earlier.
Yeah.
That actually had a QR code on it, didn't it?
Yeah, it
People
does.
can scan it on their mobile. See, so that's another cool thing that you guys can do. And even on the back, I don't have it on this, but like on the back of your business card, you can have a little QR code. And what that allows somebody to do is scan with their phone and go directly to some website. Whether it's your own website, it's an opt-in page, it's to your Facebook fan page.
Because like the QR codes on here are for DatPiff, if you can see the DatPiff logo up there, and SoundCloud. So that's where it sends them to.
See, because I even went to the extent to wrap a vehicle with all my information on there. It's just really all about what your goal in mind is. I went to the extent to do that because, when I it made it easier for me to go to events, and instead of me walking up to people, they're coming up to me. So, it's just really about what you're hoping to accomplish and the extent that you'll go to stand out, really.
And how does that make you stand out? It pretty much there's nobody else. There's not many other vehicles out on the road with a car wrap, right? So you're standing out from the jump. People are automatically looking just because you have a wrap on your vehicle.
It's a moving billboard, man. And the people like to be nosy, so they come over and inquire about what is this, what's going on, what do you do, blah blah blah, all these questions, But yeah, I'm not saying you have to do that, but that's just the extent I went.
And also, but the thing is, like where you're at, there's a heavy concentration of MCs. So even if your truck is sitting outside, and people see that when they drive past, they can take the information down and get back to you later on. And that's the thing. Even if you're not driving, it's advertising for you 24 hours a day as long as it's out.
Right.
Somebody go to Walmart and you park there. If you go into Target and somebody comes in behind you and these rats are like, what the fuck? They're gonna notice the rat truck.
Right. And I even went to the extent to like out here where I'm from, I know a few people that have stores, so I'll be like, yo, can I leave it out in your parking lot for a few days and just leave it there? And I have got many inquiries just doing that, not even driving it, just posting it up somewhere. And, people take down the information.
You go to the club and it's the let out at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you sitting out there in a wrap van.
Right.
Friday night, everybody who's coming out is gonna hear you and see you sitting out there, and it's just promotion. Like another thing is how we all talking about different media that we use for getting our music out there to artists and getting our beats out there to artists. When I go to events, like I said, for the local artists and for the underground artists, I give them CDs and stuff like that. But for the major artists, I don't give them CDs. I was giving out, like I said, I was giving out iPods, like the small iPod shuffles. You could go on eBay and buy a bunch of them from Chinese companies, and I buy maybe 30 or 40 of them. Well, when I go to events, I do my research. What's the main hotel that all the artists are staying at? So if I gotta go and stay there, I'll stay there for the simple fact that I'm gonna run into more artists, more major artists, because I'm there. I go to A3C, I know I'm staying at the Malia Hotel. I know why, because I know Ninth Wonder is gonna be there. I know all Jamla artists are gonna be there. I know that every major artist that gets booked is staying at the Malia, or they're staying at the Sheraton, which is right up the block. So I stay where the artists are at, because when I walk out of my room, there's Killer Mike, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. So when I make that connection, we get to that conversation, and I get to the part where like, yo, I got some beats, you want to check them out? I don't have to say that. When I pull out that little iPod, say here, and hand it to them, they're like, oh, we check it out. No, just take the iPod. It's yours.
Yeah.
I've already made an impression, because no one's giving away iPods at events. Don't worry about it. I got it. Like, eat that. They don't know how much it costs. They just know that they just got a free iPod. It's in the case, and that's it. And it's got my music on it. It's got my information on it, and that's it.
So do you do you give them the charger too?
With those, it's just a USB.
Right, I know.
It's like it comes in like to be honest with you, it comes in like a small cube, like literally looks like a case for like a wedding ring. It's so small.
Right.
You got like everything packed underneath there. There you go, take it. Headphones and everything. Here you go, and it's already charged, so
That's dope, man.
you get 30 of those out, you've hit 30 artists. So when they get on their plane, they're like, oh, let me check out what's on that iPod. I gotta fly somewhere, and that's what it is, man. That's how actually when I met Malice from the Clips, I was in front of the hotel. This was like 3 years ago, and I gave him the iPod. Him hitting me back got me linked up with Sandman that used to be in the Clips and the Urban Re-Up gang. Sandman's last mixtape he had 20 joints. I did 6 of those joints on there, like all exclusive sales. All because I handed off an iPod to somebody and he took it to the studio. Obviously, he took it to the studio and played it for somebody else because that's how I got that connection. So it's kind of like, am I mad? And another thing with offline, you don't sell that many leases. You get a lot of exclusive sales, and that's the bigger thing for me. Like I love leases, but I'll take $1,000 over $25 any day. Somebody's gonna hand me $1,000 in my hand right now. I'm taking the $1,000. Like,
and offline, it's a little bit easier to gauge serious artists also, because once you start to get in touch with serious artists, they won't mainly want to stay away from leases anyway, because they'll say, I don't want something that someone else has have.
Yep.
So I think too an advantage of offline marketing yourself is that too, because you get a more personal impression on who's serious and who's not.
And locally, you can build your name in that city. Like if there's 50 artists in your town, you can essentially get a track on on everybody's mixtape. And obviously, if the price is $1,000, you can negotiate with anybody face to face. If you know he don't got the budget and he says, okay, well look, I can't pay $500. I can only pay $3. Take the $3, because it's about getting your name on every single project in your city. If you're on every project or as many projects as you can, you become that producer in the city, because you can say, I'm on so-and-so's mixtape, so-and-so's mixtape, and you're on everybody's mixtape. You become that guy quickly. And also, this is a flip on when you sell beats. You sell somebody a beat for $300, and he's local and he's in your town. Say, look, man, this is your price. $300 is your price, period. From now until whenever. No matter how big you get, $300 is your price. But what I need you to do is, if you know somebody who's looking for music, give me a shout out and we'll split the cost. So all I got to do is charge more than $300. Now you may think, okay, I'm taking the loss, but you're not. This is money that you didn't get. And he's never going to charge them $300. He's going to charge them more than that, because he knows he's going to get 50%. So if he says, okay, well, I'll tell them it's $500. So they pay the $5. You split the $250 with him. You go to that person and say, your price is $500.
Right, and that's money you want to got. Right.
And now that person, the thing is, all these artists are promoting for you at this point.
It works. It works on more than just getting that initial money up front, because you're getting free word of mouth promotion. You're getting that as part of the deal, and to me, that is more important than selling a $250 exclusive to somebody. Right, that's so much more important, because if you got somebody, you now got taken one artist who you know serious, and now extended that to 2 artists who know are serious, that are going to come back and potentially buy. And to me, that's what this is all about. It's about leveraging, and especially if you don't have a big extensive resume, and you're trying to get either known locally in your city, the word of mouth spread is going to be the most powerful. And if you can incentivize initial customers to spread the word for you, you're going to kill. I mean, it's because they know other serious artists, because they're serious themselves. So it's like you don't necessarily have to get in contact with this other person. They can do that selling for you, and you're incentivizing that because you're giving them maybe a percentage of the sale or whatever the case, give them a discount on their next exclusive beat to assure that they come back and buy another beat from you. I mean, there's so many different ways you can work it.
Right, and then you could even like take that a step further. Like, for instance, I told you before I have connections with a couple independent labels in Miami. Of course, they have artists coming through all the time, so I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, for 25, 30 bucks, maybe for a lease, that's not so much, but if you get artists that come through that buy exclusives, I'll do something like a 70-30 deal or a 60-40 or something like that with you, just simply for me not having to do that work and you bringing them to me. And you know what I'm saying? And then, like you said, hook them up in the meantime, give them on what they need, and they'll be more inclined to help you out. And if you tell somebody, hey, man, if you can sell my beats that are already selling to somebody, I'll put some money in your pocket, they will have no problem going, hey, bro, have you heard of Skinny? You heard his beats? Definitely put money in your pocket.
And I don't want you guys to think like I came up with these strategies like on my own. Like that flip I just told you about is I've been doing beats since 1994. I got that flip from
OG.
Exactly. when Mad Skills dropped this album From Where, he had like 7 beats from Jay Dilla on that album. He paid Dilla $8,000. And Dilla said, well, look, this is your price from now until forever. So when Skills needed beats later on, Dilla was doing beats for Janet Jackson remixes and Quest was large. They're paying $10,000, $12,000 a track. Mad Skills is still paying $1,000. It's like he kept all of his artists with him because he said, look, here's your set price from now until forever. Because when I didn't have anything, you were the person who gave me that first $8,000 that put me in the game. The same thing with Just Blaze. First Just Blaze beats he did was for Killer Priest on his second album. $40,000 he paid him. 9 beats, $40,000. That put Just Blaze in the game.
Yeah.
And you keep those relationships together because you know what? That's how you got in. And when you do that, you're able to work everybody from Mad Skills being underground to Janet Jackson being Janet Jackson. Anybody in between that, you're able to work with because you built those relationships and you've kept them together because you give people, this is your price. It's not about the money, it's about expanding. The more time, the easier it is for you to expand and meet more artists, the more money you're going to make over time. And that's what it's about. Travis says it all the time, it's a marathon. It's a marathon.
It's chess, man. You got to be strategizing. Even if you're taking a cut on a beat sell here, think about what that's going to do for you a month from now or 6 months from now, because that you always got to be forward thinking. You always got to be forward thinking. It's always strategic moves. You know, this isn't checkers. This is chess, and you gotta be sharp. You gotta think about it. You gotta take advantage of every opportunity that you have, whether it's a local show. You gotta know who you're dealing with. You gotta do your research. You gotta do your homework. You gotta be prepared. You gotta be prepared for any situation that's thrown at you. Otherwise, if you're not the right person, if you're not prepared for a situation that's given to you, you may lose out on it, and that could have been another stepping stone to just keep building. I'm speaking from experience, guys. I'm speaking from experience because I was not in the right mind state when certain opportunities were presented to me, and I wasn't able to capitalize on them. So it all comes down to preparation. It all comes down. Hopefully, these tips can help you. I mean, these are all things we're all speaking from experience on this. We all have some experience in offline, but a lot of it applies both ways, offline and offline. And you can take your offline game to bring them back online. Right. To follow up with them online or give them their number and communicate with them that way. There's so many different angles you can take with this.
Anybody got anything else? I mean, we kind of. I know. I've
say just don't create a problem for yourself by only doing one thing. That's why we're doing this webinar right now. It's because you need to expand online and offline. Some people, because I know some producers and people that are in the game will be like, oh, well, it has nothing to do with online or it has nothing to do with offline. It's all about online. And they go both ways with it, but really it's like everything else we tell you and everything else we try to inform you about. It's not just one thing. It's doing everything the right way. not just offline, not just online, because you may meet that person offline that's gonna come be your best online customer and you never even know it.
Right, and study, study your scene in your city. Look at what's going on. Observe and figure out, what it is, what it is that you can do that everybody else isn't doing.
Doing.
Yeah, it's crazy because we sit in here and we talk after or before these, and online is cool, but when we hear what Brian made at a show or when he brags about it, it's like, oh shit, we gotta get up on our offline game more. It's super dope. It's super dope.
Like, how many producers do you think there are out here going up to artists at shows and saying, "Hey man, that was a dope couple songs. Let me interview you for my hip hop blog." Like, nobody's doing that to random regular artists. Nobody's doing that.
Man, that's what it is, man. It's just thinking out. It's just thinking outside the box. Like, you know what everybody else is going to do. You just got to do something different, and that's what it is. Like, everybody's going to come at them the same exact way, and they hear it all the time, and they blow people off. As an artist, I blow people off every day when they come at me the wrong way. They're like, yo, man, I got some beats. I'm like, yeah, all right, man. I mean, like, I have a crate full of beat tapes from other artists. I mean, from other producers. Like, I've never opened them up. Like, I'm not listening to, like, I'm good. Like, because I don't like the approach. It's like, you didn't do anything that set you apart from anybody else. You mean, in marketing, they got this thing called the unique selling point. Like, what is your unique selling point? What is it about you that makes you special? And if you don't have it, you're not gonna succeed in this game. Like, the way that you come at somebody could be that selling point. If my selling point is, yo, can I do an interview with you?
Right.
Really quick, 5 minutes, bang. Give me your Twitter information. Give me your Facebook fan page. Give me your Instagram so I can put it in there. Well, now I know I got 3 ways to contact this person after that. Where
and for me, what some things that I do too is, I take some of the online strategies that we use. Just the value part of it is like, I might even walk up to somebody and like I said, make it about them. Like, yo, I like what I heard, blah blah blah. I want to hear more. Or set up a time just to link up and chat on a more personal level. They don't even got to know what I do at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So there's many different ways. 9 out of 10 times, if you go to a show, you got multiple producers there, you got multiple artists there. They're not looking to do that with the next artist. All about is me. So you approach somebody on a humble, like, I think you did your thing, on the stage or whatever. I'd like to hear more. Let's link up together. Then you can bring
it. And if they got a CD to sell, if they say, yo, I got a CD for sale, if you fuck with them, buy it.
Right.
What's that $5 gonna hurt you? You trying to make $500. If you ain't gonna spend $5 to make $500, then what's the point? Because as soon as you buy that CD, you can be like, yo, I bought your CD at the such and such show. When you contact them, you have text now. You got some context to have an end at that point. I bought your CD at the show. I like this. I think I got some joints that may work with you. Let me send you something out. Let me email you.
You're going to know exactly what they're looking for next time, or at least within the same range.
Exactly. So I mean, it's just you gotta be open to meeting new people first and foremost. If you can't speak to people, you're gonna have a hard time offline because that's what it is. But once you start talking to people, it becomes a whole lot easier. And if you have your angle, which is whatever it is, it makes it a lot easier because now you're in the position of power. You're not asking them for anything. You're helping their career out. You're helping them in a situation so you can attack it a little different.
Exactly. So that's the whole reason I wanted to be a producer instead of an artist. I felt like the producers just excuse me, have so much more to give than just like no disrespect to any of the artists at all, but I mean artists, they write words down and they record on a microphone and it goes out. Producers put the stuff together, they mix it up, they're doing all the stuff on the back end as well. I mean artists have the same things to do in business, but I just feel like as an artist it's almost kind of like a leeching position. Like you can't do your job with everybody else, but as a producer, you could sustain yourself without having an artist.
Like the thing is, like everybody watching this 9 times out of 10 is a producer, and if you've ever had a crew or you've ever been involved with a bunch of MCs, there's not been a time in my life where every MC has come to me for the advice. Like,
Right, right.
I'm the producer, but they think you're supposed to know about everything that has to do with every aspect of the business. And it's a lot of pressure, but it forces you to learn more things so you can deal with more people on that level. So
Yeah, being a producer also, you become, subconsciously you become a psychologist too, man. Especially when when you in the studio with people, it's like, man, you dealing with different attitudes all the time. You got to know how to navigate that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
I just want to add one more thing too. Be approachable. A lot of people, you got to be outgoing. When you go up to the artist, don't come up with your hood on. Don't come with your backpack and your arms crossed. You got to be confident in yourself, and you got to be open. Like, you got to be like someone that someone would want to talk to.
Right, and it's like, yeah, it's one thing, it's one thing to be confident with people, you know what I'm saying? But it's another thing, like you might feel like you this and that, but at the end of the day, don't nobody care. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody care how good you are, how good you may think you are. Just be humble with it and be professional with it.
I mean, at the end of the day, you struggling just like they are.
Right, right. Like you're in the same boat. Like you feel it doesn't matter what you feel like you're capable of. That don't matter. And that's not professional anyway. Like just
exactly
how you feel about yourself don't matter.
That's it. That's exactly.
Let them form their own opinion. You don't have to tell them who you are and what you're capable of. Just be humble and be down to earth, and they'll get that sense just by having normal conversation with you.
Yep.
They'll be able to form their own opinion. They don't want you to force, this is how I am, because they're going to think the exact opposite of it. They're like, why does he have to tell me? Why am I not able to formulate that opinion myself?
There's been plenty of times where
that is like how online, how we say, show a result. Your results speak for themselves.
Right.
If you're the producer and you're humble and you're reaching out to all these artists and you're getting placements, and trust me, anybody who records on your joint and puts it out is a placement. I don't care if it's a mixtape or has a barcode on it or not. A placement is a placement, and you need to treat them as such. So as many mixtapes as you get on out there, you don't have to talk anymore. Your work speaks for itself at that point. Those are your results. Just like online, if I post, beat sales or how many leads I got today, those are results. And that's what it is. The testimonial is that they actually recorded the song and put it out. You don't have to say anything at that point. Because if they didn't like the song, they wouldn't put the song on their album or their mixtape.
Right.
Music speaks for itself. You just got to be humble enough to reach out to as many people as you can, give them what they want, and make quality music.
Right.
I mean, that pretty much goes across the board for artists and producers. Like,
and it's like just going back to the the professionalism. Understand who it is you're talking to too, because I would say I would just say because there's a lot of people that came up to me, talking to me, and see, I'm from an inner city, so people people just automatically kind of feel like because I wear my hat backwards, you can say. You can come up to me and say certain things, which I understand the lingo, you know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong, like you may be approaching somebody that don't get down like that. You will never go wrong with being professional.
Yep.
You'll never go wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you're gonna talk that language, I feel like make sure it's a person that you know them.
You got rapport with. You're not gonna walk up like I would never walk up to Diddy like, yo, what's up, bro? I'm not gonna do that. I'm be like, how's it going, Mr. Combs? Like, there's a way you gotta speak to people. Like, some people, everybody demands respect. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know somebody, assume that they're somebody else. Assume that they're Diddy status, even if you don't think they are. Assume that they are, because when you treat people with respect, it comes back. You know what I mean? Because there's gonna be a guy that comes up to them like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Let me show you. Let me listen to some beats and try and put his earplugs in your ear." Like, no, we don't do that. You're a business, and you're a business. You are the business. When you walk in somewhere, be the business. Like, understand that all of this is going to fall back on your brand. And if
Right.
that guy is somebody and you come at him wrong, this is how business works. If you go to Best Buy and the clerk treats you shitty, you go home and tell 3 people, man, fuck Best Buy. Best Buy ain't shit. Right? Now, Travis may like Best Buy, but if he goes to Best Buy next week and somebody gives him anything off, anything like a little bit off, he'll be like, yeah, Kush was right, man. Fuck Best Buy. They ain't shit. And then he tells 3 people. Well, that's Best Buy. It's a huge corporation. You're not Best Buy. You're one guy in a town. And if your name goes out that you ain't shit, that shit travels quick. And ain't nobody messing with you at that point. So just be professional.
A negative reputation is hard to reverse.
Definitely.
Yep, and I was gonna say I agree with what Kush was saying, but also at the same time too, like maybe not where you guys are. I can't say because you know what I'm saying. I'm not there right now, but where I'm at, everybody thinks that they're on. Everybody thinks because they have a mixtape or because they have beats or because they have this that they should be the next person that's on. When really, like 99% of these people aren't even putting in half the work that I do on a daily basis. Not saying that I'm better than anybody else because I'm not. I'm just there's a lot of people you will run into where you're right. You're like just being humble, just learning, you know, from what they're doing, or from how they're reacting rather. And there's a lot of people that, oh well, you need to give me this because I'm this person, and then like you go look that person up. There's been a few times where I've met artists that shows out here, and then I go look them up, and I'm like, okay, they're telling me all this stuff, and then Google and SoundCloud and not that I'm not saying they don't have a following offline, but it's pretty much given nowadays that if your following is offline, there are people following you and talking about you online.
Once you realize that you're in the business of perception, then you would act different. It doesn't matter. Like you can sit there and say I'm the best at this, but once you realize that you really aren't, ain't no such thing. It's opinionated. Like you would have a different mind frame to begin with. Like I'm not doing what I do because I feel like I want to be better than the next person. I'm just trying to do the best I can do. You know, I don't. My goal ain't to be better than this person. My goal is just to make my mark in what it is I can make my mark in.
Exactly. That's what I said the other day. Like I was recording a video. I was like, if you're a race car, you shouldn't be trying to climb rocks and stuff like a crawler. If you're a race car, you need to be on the racetrack. Stop trying to do the thing that you're not made for. You're made for something, do that.
And it's just going back to the abundance thing. It's like even if someone were better at you, that doesn't matter. That shouldn't even be the focus.
Yep.
Whatever message you're trying to get across or whatever it is you're trying to do, focus on that.
Do what you do.
Do exactly.
You'll do it best.
Right. Do what you do. There's only one you. Be you. Do what you do.
Do what you do. What you do. What you do. What you do. What you do.
But just do it.
Just do it.
Don't not do it.
I'm all out of shit. I mean, I got if y'all got
me too, man. I mean,
that was covered everything that I can think of. I guess that's pretty much it. We'll sign out. It's your boy V Kush Beats. I'll see y'all next hangout.
Travis with T-Customs Productions. I'm out.
Your boy KC with KC-Beats.com. Peace.
Skating double Y, DTM Beats with a Z.com. Peace out.
Bill Blast Productions. Get with y'all next time.
That's what's up. Shout out to everybody who's watching. We're glad you watched. And click that link below if you want to learn more tips, want to learn more strategies, and online and offline game. Whoever you resonate with on the panel, go to their page, hit them up on Facebook, and join up GTS. I'll let y'all later.
Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.